When I was young, I used to believe that some things were simply not possible. I would look at the mountains and think, I could never climb that. I would see others succeed and think, that's not for me. But the truth is, the mountain never said I couldn't climb it. The voice that said impossible lived only inside my own mind. What I have learned through years of silence and reflection is that anything can become possible when you stop fighting the present moment and begin to understand it. You see, most of us try to move mountains with our hands, but the mountain moves when the mind becomes still. Let me tell you a story. There was once a farmer whose land was dry and barren. Every day he prayed for rain, but the clouds never came. One morning he decided to stop waiting. He began to dig a small hole in the ground, then another and another. His neighbors laughed at him. You can't find water that way, they said, but he kept digging every day under the same hot sun. After many weeks, as his hands bled and his body ached, he finally struck a spring. The earth that everyone called dead had always held water beneath. He simply had to dig deep enough to find it. This is what I mean when I say anything is possible. The spring is already there, within you, but you must be willing to keep digging, to stay still long enough to see where to dig, and to trust that your effort is not wasted. Sometimes it's not about working harder, it's about working with presence. When you move with awareness, you begin to notice the small doors that were invisible before. You start seeing that life is not against you. It is always trying to teach you something, always trying to show you another path. The problem is, our minds are loud. We are always thinking about the next step, the next success, the next problem to fix. But the more noise we make, the less we hear the whisper that says, there is another way. Anything becomes possible not through struggle, but through understanding. When you realize that you are not separate from life, but part of it, flowing with it, not against it, even the impossible becomes gentle, and every challenge becomes an invitation. So, if you find yourself facing something that feels too big, too far, or too heavy, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is it truly impossible? Or have I simply stopped believing in the quiet strength that lives within me? The greatest power is not in force, but in faith. Not blind faith in luck or destiny, but in the deep knowing that effort made with mindfulness never goes to waste. Even if you do not reach the top of the mountain, you will become stronger from the climb. Even if you do not find the spring, your hands will know the earth more deeply than before. And sometimes that is the real miracle, that the journey itself transforms you into the person who no longer fears the impossible. He smiles softly, looking off into the horizon. So remember, the sky has no ceiling, and your heart has no edge. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and know this. When your mind is still and your intention is clear, anything is possible.